Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network and another rookie breakdown episode. We have been breaking down and analyzing the 10 rookies that we want to draft most in our BBM, any on Underdog or best ball drafts this early part of the summer. If their prices stay good, probably for most of the summer. These are 10 rookies that we love their landing spot, love the situation, like their price, and as long as the price stays good, we are in. Today, we are talking about Jack Bech, drafted to the Vegas Raiders. So, Steve, tell me why we should be interested in Jack Bech.
Jack Bech is an interesting prospect. Started at LSU, started as a tight end, but he also, even at LSU, he earned targets against a stacked room that not only had guys like Malik Neighbors, but even guys like Butte and Trey Palmer was there at the time. So, it's just really impressive he was able to get on the field, even though he's more of a tight end, a move tight end there. He switched to receiver, transferred to TCU, and this past year just really had a big year. He is a good route runner, good size. Long speed is questionable, but he still gets vertical more than you'd expect. He had a tremendous Senior Bowl and combine or off-season workouts. Again, not the elite speed we're looking for, but other than that, everything else checks out for this guy. Really good route runner, could be a big slot, could play outside. And then what we really like is a good landing spot. The Raiders, we know Brock Bowers is their true number one, but at the receiver position, specifically, they have Jacoby Myers and then just a bunch of guys that we're not necessarily thrilled about. Trey Tucker is a vertical deep threat kind of only. The other guys, they drafted a late vertical option from Tennessee, Thornton, and very raw talent. And Bech is just a guy who's going to see the field. They now have an upgrade at offense coordinator with Chip Kelly and a major upgrade at quarterback with Geno Smith compared to what they had in previous years. So, Bech is a guy who's going to earn targets right away. He should start week one. Probably ends up, no worse than third on this team in total targets. And that's not something a lot of rookies can say, including second rounders. He was a second round pick. So I just think he fills what we're looking for: opportunity, upside, talent, NFL ready. He's not this raw talent like some receivers come in. He's ready to play, ready to go. Again, we saw it at the Senior Bowl and we saw it this past year at TCU, where he's just a very good route runner, really good hands. And that becomes a quarterback's best friend.
Sure. Now let's talk price. Jack Bech is currently ADP 124, which is right after Kyle Williams, who we just did an episode on. Of course, check the best ball tab of our channel and you'll see all these different rookies that we are interested in. It's the top 10 rookies that we are drafting most this summer. And Kyle Williams was one of them who got a good landing spot with the Patriots, but he goes, pretty well behind the other two rookies that we talked about going a little earlier in Jaden Higgins and Trey Harris. And then after Bech is kind of some veterans like Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown, Jalen McMillan, who I know in our opinion needs to fall more, Jalen Noel, and then those are then getting much further down. So why is Jack Bech's price of 124 current ADP something you're interested in?
Well, a lot of it is what you said. Like, he's not too far behind some of the other rookies and right next to Kyle Williams, who's a similar situation. Debut pick, opportunity to be the number 2 receiver on the team. Williams is a bit more deep speed, vertical, spike week guy, but Bech could be a very good floor play. And I'm sure, with touchdowns have some spike weeks as well. But like you said, after that, there's one or two other guys who are maybe taking a little bit of Kirk Hollywood, but it gets very thin very fast. And where you start to get to number 3, or in the case of Jalen McMillan, probably number 4 receiver, which is why we think he's going too high right now. And so it's a lot of clear number 3s or number 2s on really bad teams. Raiders, I don't think, are going to be a top 5, top 10 offense, but top 15 possible, definitely should be in the top 20 mix. So, the opportunity for Bech should just be there. If Geno throws 24, 25 touchdowns, Bech could get 5, 6 of those for sure. So I think that's kind of what we're projecting, what we're looking at. And that's good value there, because we've talked about it before on some of our other streams, but there just is that wide receiver cliff kind of in that, like, essentially the guys you just mentioned. And
Yeah.
after that, we really don't want to take a receiver for another couple rounds. So Bech is kind of one of the last few guys we feel even semi-good about. And Bech, unlike a few others, we actually feel there's some upside.
And how many years again did he have of actual playing time? Because I know each situation is different. We're having a lot more years experience. How many years playing time did he have?
So his freshman year at LSU, he played a lot,
Okay.
but it wasn't like he was a full-time starter. He had like 2 full-time starter years, but
okay. And then played 2 other seasons?
Yeah. He was in college 5 years. So
okay, gotcha. But 2 full-time starter seasons. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, to me, after that, mentioning Jack Bech's current price of 124 ADP, Kyle Williams just ahead of him currently at 122. That is kind of the tier break. There is a tier break kind of that after that for me. So that's why part of why we're so interested too, is just like the price is right and their situation is right. No, I mean, you and I have been in on Jack Bech pre-draft, and then we are post-draft landing with the Raiders. Now, any other final thoughts on Bech as to why you'll have probably, a good bit above the field on him?
Just that kind of similar to Kyle Williams. It's a new offense, uncertain offense, just a ton of opportunity. And while Jacoby Myers is a good receiver, it's not like he's elite. So there's outs where Bech comes the true number 1 receiver, still behind Bowers. But and that's just an opportunity that not a lot of rookies, Trey Harris, Higgins, those guys don't have. Barring injury, they are not going to be the team's number 1 receiver. Now they have a better quarterback situation, et cetera. But I'm bullish on Bech, basically because he's ready to play now.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Well, that wraps up this episode. Again, check out all the rookies that we are targeting in best ball drafts under the best ball tab on the Fanspeak channel. Be sure you're subscribed to the Fanspeak network. If you're not already, hit that bell for notifications. We'll have live drafts every single day, strategy shows like this, shorts, and other longer strategy shows on the channel. So plenty to offer you during this hot best ball summer. And then finally, of course, you can see on the scroll below, and the link will be in the description of this show. The Fanspeak Best Ball subscription is just $34.99. Definitely not price prohibitive. It's $34.99 for a year. That's not a month, that's a year. And it covers rankings from Steve and I, and that covers rankings on Underdog and various platforms, Eliminator, Sprint, Marathon, as well as the Classic contests, which are already up. DraftKings and Drafters rankings will soon be out. 3 to 4 articles a week from Steve and I, and some special sub-only shows. So check that out, link in the description. We hope it'll help you have amazing results this year too. So for Steve, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.